Hey YouTube, how y'all doing? So glad to be back. You guys know that you're my therapy. Um, okay, so let's get into it. One of um my commitments, and I'm gonna do a video about it later. Um, for 2017 is to make my videos a little bit shorter, a little bit more condensed, and a little bit more um, current affairs driven. So one of the things that popped off just prior to Christmas, and then of course during the Christmas season, with this whole thing with Black Chyna and Rob. Um, supposedly they broke up and she took everything out of the house, all the food out of the refrigerator, which I personally just never believed. When I saw the video of, the stuff around the house being empty, I was like, this house don't really look like it was ever lived in, actually, or like it just looked like a place that was prepared to be rented to me. Um, and as a former renter, I've rented a lot of places. I loved renting when I did rent, and so I look at a place from a renter's eye, and I'm OCD. So I was just like, this place look like it's about to be rented out. Like it just looked like somebody, um, try to get their security deposit back. To me, Black Chyna just does not seem like that type of individual. But it could have happened. That's neither here nor there. Another reason why I wasn't necessarily impressed or moved by his whole video was his attitude and the attitude of the person that was walking around the house with him. And just because of the number one most glaring reason, he is a Kardashian. Like, you really can't believe anything that comes out of their camp, in my opinion. It is, people want to jump right on the story. They want to be the first to report it like it's breaking news, and we put alleged in front of it. But the fact of the matter is, all of that is a part of their game. Like, all of them, is, they put, it's all about the story remaining relevant. And so whenever it's about trying to be relevant, then to me, everything is suspect at that point. When your whole life is about being talked about, like that's your whole money maker is being talked about, then you have to constantly do things to keep people talking, because our society today, we get bored so easily. So that's my opinion. I really didn't have anything to say about it, and I didn't really care, like whatever. Um, except I saw um a news article, not news, like celebrity news article from E! News. They have like an online team, two males and a female who seemed like she had a British accent. I'm gonna put the link down below. But that were talking about it, and it just sort of, they were having like a little round table, I guess, a half table about it. And just talking about the whole thing, what had happened, what they think has happened, what people are saying, what the tweets were saying, all of this stuff. And to me, the most glaring thing that I have heard, not just in this particular celebrity news segment, but from other vloggers and bloggers and online news, is this demonizing of Blac Chyna. Like, like she's some six-headed dragon that swooped in and and decapitated and disemboweled this poor mentally retarded Kardashian. Like, what the First of all, let's just agree. They're all opportunists. They're all opportunists. If you are a part of this machine in any way, you are a bit of an opportunist. That's just my opinion. Okay. Second thing, you guys know how I feel about the Kardashians. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I personally feel like the Kardashians are coven of witches. I've said it and I believe it. It's I really believe it to be true. And if anybody say to me, "How can you say that you can't prove that?" I say, "You can't disprove it." You might not want to hear it. You might not want to believe it, but it's my opinion. I'm entitled to have one, and that's what it is. I believe the Kardashians are a coven of witches. I believe the men go in, but they don't come out, and that includes men that are born into that family. Okay, and we can get into this on another video. Please let me know if you'd like me to pull this apart a little bit more. I'll be more than happy to do it. I will. I promise you guys, if it's not something I have not thought about and chewed on for a while, I would never said anything about it. But yeah. Anyway, let's go back to Blac Chyna and this E News roundtable that they were having. Anyway, it was clear to me that the guy in the middle, the one with the glasses, had an agenda. That it was clear to me that his agenda was to continually reiterate um, China's wrongdoing and her lack of stability, even though he did it in a sort of um, non-effect, meaning, he kind of supposed it and played the devil's advocate, but it always looped everyone back around to, or always kept highlighted the fact that she is possibly, that she's in the wrong, that she's some sort of, um, you know, uh, what do you call those women, that siren, that has come in. And I personally think that that rhetoric, that language, that narrative comes from the Kardashian coven. That's my opinion. Okay. First of all, E channel anyway is in bed with the Kardashians on a very, very large scale. Okay. That's one. How they can are going to try to make me believe they can objectively have conversations about the Kardashians is a moot point. Like, miss me with that. Okay. Your girl's not that stupid. All right. So that's, I think something that we should all try to remember is that, you know, they're sort of in bed together. Um, Two, um, it, when Blac Chyna sought to have her name or her baby's name or whatever it was she was trying to do trademark, she then at that moment leveled up the Kardashians plot to get rid of her. Okay, because I don't think they ever wanted her with Rob. um I think the fact that she was having a female child was important. If you go back and look at those videos of them all around in that room, that's really important. For her to have a female child in a coven, that's really, really important. A female being born in that bloodline is super super important, and you could just tell by the way they was all kind of encamped around there. Now mind you, they wasn't even really too cool getting along, from what I understood, if any of that is true, with Rob, with Black Chyna, uh and that whole so now y'all all gathered around the room. Yeah, because that's a female being born into the coven. Like, um anyway, we're gonna get to that. But now that you've had this child, to me, okay, so you're trying to take their name. Um, you got a female child. Um, it's now more crucial now than ever for you to be nixed out, just like the whole nixing out of Kanye West. Like, it's in the works, you guys. It's in the works. You think it's about manipulation and the demonization and of others to the point of total and utter insanity. This is how witchcraft works. It's very, very subtle. It's very manipulative. It's very alluring, um, enchanting. All right. And consequently, the things that they do to rid themselves of what a perceived enemy is alluring and enchanting. They use all of these tools to rid themselves of who they believe to be um, the enemy is. Anyway, like I said, we'll get into that in another thing. But anyway, so the guy in the middle was clearly a Kardashian pawn, in my opinion. The British girl, on the other hand, her job really was to continue to reiterate the legal ramifications. You know what I'm saying? The overall impact of China's behavior. Just, oh, she was just like, it's really quite frightening if you think about it. It's really, what I'm saying, you gotta, if you work in corporate America, these key words that are used all the time, especially by the white female damsel, is, afraid. I'm afraid. I'm quite afraid. And it's quite frightening. And these are keywords that you're used to indicate fear and distress and victimization. So that was her role. And then you have this other guy that, um, and his job was really to lob the questions out there that you may possibly have. Okay, wait. Now I don't believe this because yada 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 and boom, 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 boom. Okay, so what about this? Well, the guy in the middle would just, like I said, keep looping it back around to China being the villain, and this girl over here would just keep looping it back around to, the ramifications of them staying together and China still being in the picture. Let me tell you something. They gonna work real, real hard to get this little baby girl. I promise you. This is what we're seeing here. This is what I believe. It is all alleged. It is personal opinion. What do I know? You know what I'm saying? I ain't nobody. I got what, 118 subscribers? Who would listen to me? I promise you, they want this little baby she got. Yeah. Uh-huh. 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 And me personally, I think they're willing to sacrifice Rob for this little girl. That's just what I believe. What do I care? That's all I'm saying is, Blac Chyna, you think you know the game. You think you in on it. But girl, you better protect yourself. You in over your head. Unless you got a covenant of your own. Okay? Or unless you know Jesus real, real, real good. If you got a praying grandmama, you might want to call her. Not your mama, but a praying grandmama. Your mama's the weak link. But anyway, I'm gonna get off of here, but this is just my prediction. This is my whole thing on it. This is about the demonization of Black China, and I think ultimately the goal is to get this little baby girl. Is to bring her into the fold. Okay, they're never gonna be able to do that with China in the mix. Okay, and so we have to start discrediting her and demonizing her right now. Same thing with Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Kim has to get rid of Kanye. She has to. I think it has been mandated that she gets rid of him. Okay? And so it begins. Okay, now Kanye is crazy. Kanye is insane. Kanye is nuts. Kanye is stressed. Kanye is a threat. I'm worried about Kanye. I'm not sure. This is all the language and the keywords that build the narrative of fear in people. Um, it leads them to believe that these African American people are now threats. We see it across the board. Okay, so when we report on this stuff and we talk about Blac Chyna in this way that feeds that narrative, we are discrediting her as a viable human being. Okay, they talk about some of the things she said in her tweets and her DMs and all of this stuff. Y'all can miss me with all that. You can. You can. You can miss me with all that. People are herded and corralled into a train of thought, okay? Especially when they are not a part of that machine, when they're not used to that machine, okay? Sometimes we bite off more than we can chew, which I think Blac Chyna has. She's bitten off way more than she can chew. I think that Rob Kardashian does have some issues, but I think those issues come with being a male in the coven. Like, he is never ever going to be a viable, strong head leader. He's a part of a coven. As a male, then he is considered to be a lower subject. He's not going to be a Kim. He's not going to be a Courtney. They're all above him, not because he's the youngest, but because he's a male and they're females. All right. Uh, he's always going to be in this sort of fog of mental state because that is how you men are kept in covens. That's my opinion. Same thing with Kanye. Kanye is going through the same thing. We see the same thing with Scott Disick and all of this self-medicating alcohol and drug abuse. You know, Scott Disick comes from a long line European uh, individuals himself, separate issue. Anyway, I'm not going to get too far into this. All I'm saying is I'm not going to be quick to demonize Blac Chyna. I think that that is the overall goal here. And coming from the Kardashian clan, I believe that to be true. I don't know that it's true, but I believe it to be true. It is alleged, but I believe that allegedly this is what's going on. And if she does not get her baby and get out now and divorce herself from this whole situation, I think she's going to ultimately find that she has lost that baby and she has lost all credibility. And anything that she intends to do going forward will be uh, just like her. I think she had an endorsement that fell through. That's only just the beginning. I promise you. I promise you. There is a crusade to get rid of her now, and it's all coming from that Kardashian clan. And if she's not careful, her baby's going to be collateral damage in that. That's just my opinion, you guys. You guys let me know what you think about it. Do you think that this is a part of a systematic plot to demonize Blac Chyna? And ultimately there is some goal in getting rid of her? Some benefit on the Kardashian part to get rid of her? If so, what do you think that goal is? What do you think is really, really going on there? Now, my specialty is not necessarily looking at things for what people show you, but looking at the things that you don't see. Okay. So you guys watch the video and let me know what you think. I personally believe that um, that whole conversation about the Black Chyna and Rob situation was really about demonizing Black Chyna. And that's just how I feel about it, okay? Um, I would love to know what you think, honeybees. Let your girl know. Let your girl know if you think she crazy. You know what I'm saying? I've been called crazy before, but who in the hell want to be normal? Okay? Until next time, honeybees, I holla.